Welcome to your Robbins Regional Wrap, your one-stop shop for all your Houston County news. I'm Megan Western. Each week, we're taking you through what's happening in Houston County, Warner Robins, Robbins Air Force Base, and your very own neighborhood. And this week, we learned more about the Warner Robins police officer who was shot last week. 35-year-old Matthew Whitell has served the city for 8 years. Now, a longtime friend is telling the story of the man behind the badge. Elizabeth Hunter shares who Whitell is and what he stands for and why he's deeply respected.
Shots fired, officer down.
Warner Robins Police Chief Wayne Fisher says it's a call no one ever wants to hear. For Ash Little, Officer Matthew Whitell's longtime friend, it was a call that made him drop everything.
It definitely caught me off guard, and I seen praying and shot in the sentence, and I don't think I really comprehended it well.
Little met Whitell when they both were in college in Statesboro, Georgia. Little says Whitell is originally from Chicago, Illinois, but moved to Georgia for school. He says being a police officer is Whitell's passion.
He loves his job. He talks about it all the time, any chance he gets. Yeah, I know he does great for the community, and he's achieved a lot of awards and gotten praise from his fellow police officers.
Little says he hasn't been able to get in touch with his friend since Thursday, but he knows Whitell was doing what he loved.
He was in the place he wanted to be, and I'm sure he would probably do it all over again.
Little isn't the only one who had high praise for Whitell. Carol Bridges and her grandson Bryson were at a car wash in August last year. Bridges says Bryson told Whitell he wanted to be a police officer, and the officer let him take a look around the police car.
He let me sit in it, and he wrung my hand and pushed it down to turn the sirens on.
Bryson said they are planning to take a trip to the hospital to visit Whitell.
Being in a balloon, and I have this costume on, being like him.
In Warner Robins, Elizabeth Hunter, 13 WMAZ News.
Now, Whitell is out of surgery. We're told that he is recovering well. We don't have an update on the other woman that was shot that same day. And the city of Fort Valley is experiencing a major leadership shakeup. As we closed out January, Mayor Shakina Reeves told us a 5-2 city council vote resulted in the termination of Police Chief DJ Flores and City Administrator Gary Lee. Maggie Fitzgerald breaks it down.
After a special called meeting Thursday, Fort Valley Mayor Shakina Reeves says the city had no choice but to clean house at the top of its police department.
We're facing so many potential lawsuits behind Dennis Flores and the way he has ran that department. And so for us, these are the things that had to be done.
Reeves says former police chief DJ Flores was terminated, and she called him insubordinate and unethical. She said the problems, including police vehicle purchases, she says were made without proper approval. She also said Assistant Police Chief Michael Bostic was also terminated for insubordination, and another colonel resigned. She says Flores' leadership hurt the department's reputation and the city's bottom line.
If we have an unethical police chief, what does that say for the rest of the body? How does that gain us respect within our community? You know, and we have a lot of waste and abuse coming out the police department when we talk about our finances.
She also accuses Flores and police leadership of trying to access city offices after his firing. The mayor says the city responded by padlocking doors to protect documents during an ongoing audit. At the same time, she says City Administrator Gary Lee failed to provide the oversight Fort Valley needs in the middle of a financial crisis.
The city administrator is supposed to make sure we have those internal checks and balances. The city administrator is supposed to make sure if they need new cars, are they getting the money from the SPLOST funds, or are they using money out of their city budget?
With both positions now vacant, Reeves says the city will start searching for new leaders, especially a police chief who can repair and rebuild.
A lot of damage has been done. So I really need someone that the leader would draw. The leader would be a light to bring people here.
Reeves says that city administrator initially resigned. However, Reeves says it was then rescinded, leading to council to dismiss him. Now, this isn't the first time we've reported on Fort Valley police leadership. In June of 2024, DJ Flores was unanimously appointed police chief after 3 months as interim chief. By December, he told us violent crime was down, but last February, Georgia's Peace Officer Standards and Training Council said they placed Flores on a 2-year probation for unethical conduct at previous jobs. They cited submitting inaccurate time cards when he worked with Dublin Police. And in Centerville, they said he tried to get a loan from a subordinate officer. Months later, an anonymous letter claimed that officers were promised raises and promotions that never came, leading to 19 resignations. Last year, Flores told us, quote, "I have never portrayed myself as a perfect individual." But he said he's been open about those previous problems and tried to learn from them. Of course, we reached out to both Flores and Lee, but could not reach them.
The council has decided that we will advertise for the city administrator, the chief of police, as well as the fire chief.
In the latest update, City Council clarifying that there are 3 key open positions right now: police chief, city administrator, and fire chief, as you just heard. Chief Antonio Woodard died back in July. That's left the fire department with an interim ever since. Just moments after that announcement, council also voted 6-1 to appoint a new interim police chief. That's going to be Dave Wilson. Mayor Shakina Reeves cast that singular opposing vote. So far, city leaders have not said how soon all 3 positions could be permanently filled. And a Perry woman is still missing 8 months after she disappeared. Now her family and Perry police are asking for your help to find her. Elizabeth Hunter spoke with the lead investigator and shares what they know, as well as the questions they still need your help answering.
Jania Vickers was last seen on June 23rd.
It's not normal behavior to be missing for this amount of time with no contact with any family or any known friends.
Vickers was last seen leaving her mother's home at Pecan Grove Mobile Home Park off Sam Nunn Boulevard. Detective Ike Wilcox is the lead investigator on the case. He says her family didn't officially report her missing until January 26th.
I know that sounds unusual, but there was a family that lives distantly from here, and there was apparently a miscommunication within the family. They believed that she had been officially reported, and she had not.
Wilcox says starting a missing persons investigation 7 months after she was last seen has put them at a disadvantage, but they are pursuing every tip they get.
We have found folks that somewhat matched her description in the area. We verified their identity and found out they were not her. But we are taking them all seriously right now because that's the most we have at this point.
Wilcox says they decided on Wednesday to list her as endangered because of the length of time she has been missing and because there is a possibility she's in danger.
We do know that she does have some previous medical history. We don't know if that's playing a part in this or not.
Wilcox says missing person cases are tough because of the unknown.
You want an answer. We would love for her to just call us on the phone or a family member say that she showed up, and that just hasn't happened yet.
Vickers is 5 feet tall, around 100 pounds, has dark blonde, light brown hair, and a scar on her nose. In Perry, Elizabeth Hunter, 13 WMAZ News.
Wilcox says if you have any information about Vickers, you can call him at 478-988-2848. It's at the bottom of your screen right here. Again, 478-988-2848. And people in Perry were left outraged this week after developers cut down a decades-old magnolia tree on the old site of the new Perry Hotel. Just weeks ago, a city official told us it was going to stay. Elizabeth Hunter has the city's explanation and how people in town are responding.
For many people, it's a tree that has been there all their lives.
I'm just disappointed. Very disappointed.
Robert Russell says the magnolia tree looked over downtown Perry for as long as he could remember, but he was not surprised the developers cut it down.
Once again, here people are ignoring the ordinances of Perry and not obeying what we're supposed to be doing.
Right here behind this fence is where that magnolia tree stood for about 75 years. The president of the Perry Area Historical Society said it was planted around 1950. Russell said the history of the tree is what makes the loss more difficult.
It makes you feel a little upset.
We spoke with Perry's Community Development Director Joe Duffy on January 13th about building plans for the site. He said the tree would be untouched. Monday, the city of Perry sent us a statement saying that since then, a certified arborist found the tree was in advanced decay, had exceeded its life expectancy, and could not be safely saved. Based on that, the city says they approved the removal and that developers followed the city's tree protection ordinance. Russell says he hopes the city will make what comes next on the site worthy of what was lost.
I think they should replace it with something. At least follow the ordinances and the rules like everybody else does. If I took something out, they would require me to put it back in.
The city says they're now reviewing revised landscaping plans that call for new shade trees around the property. In Perry, Elizabeth Hunter, 13 WMAZ News.
City leaders say they know the decision to remove the tree stings, but says it was the right one for safety and structural reasons. And sticking with Perry now, a new lawsuit could put an end to a fee that Central Georgians see on their city bills every single month. The case challenges Perry's fire protection fee paid by property owners all across the city. The fee has been a growing point of controversy. It rose 4% at the start of 2025 to help pay off city debt. By June, city leaders were warning of higher utility bills. By October, proposed increases sparked some strong pushback from neighbors. Now that legal challenge could determine whether the fee continues at all. Elizabeth Hunter breaks down the lawsuit and what it could mean for your wallet.
The fire protection fee is a double-edged sword for many people in Perry.
I'm all about high standards for our law enforcement and our fire protection, and I understand that it's expensive.
Chris Smith says he wants quality fire services, but he understands the frustrations with the ever-increasing fee.
But I understand the concern for others who do see it as an inconvenience or even a burden.
In 2014, it started as a $7 fee. Now it has more than tripled to almost $25 a month. In the lawsuit, the plaintiff, Robert Russell Jr., argues that basic fire services should be covered by regular property taxes, not a separate fee tacked into your bill. We spoke with Russell in November last year about the fee. Here's what he had to say.
Just boiling the frog. You just start out low and then add a little increase to it to the next thing you know. It's like, why is my water bill so high?
The city denies any wrongdoing and says the fee is a legal way to help fund public safety. We spoke with City Manager Robert Smith in November about why the fire protection fee is needed.
Operating our 2 fire stations, it pays our employees, it maintains those facilities, provides operational expenses for those facilities.
If the lawsuit succeeds, Perry could be forced to refund fire fees collected since 2020 and change how it pays for fire protection. Smith says it would be nice to have that money back, but worries about the impact on the city.
Well, I would love for it to be put back in my pockets. Hopefully that it would be done in a way that doesn't compromise the funding of those departments.
According to the legal documents, no trial date has been set. In Perry, Elizabeth Hunter, 13 WMAZ News.
Now, several similar fire fee lawsuits have settled across the state. Chatham County was ordered to refund more than $30 million. Garden City is refunding several million dollars as well. And in January, Richmond Hill also settled with homeowners. And new housing could be coming to the International City. This week, City Council approved the annexation and rezoning of nearly 16 acres near Lake Joy Road and Dustmore Drive, shifting the property from county to city control. The move clears the way for new residential and commercial development and more traffic. Jasmine Lee breaks down what's planned for the site and what comes next.
This land may not look like much right now, but Monday night's vote changes what eventually can be built here. And it's pretty clear the city is laying the groundwork for future developments.
Proud of the mayor's vision. Not surprised, been through annexation before.
The 16 acres near Lake Joy Road and Dustmore Drive are now annexed into the city and rezoned. 43 new single-family homes will take up most of that land, while restaurants and small shops are planned on nearly 2 acres along Lake Joy Road. City leaders say this mix of residential and commercial is part of a long-term plan to bring amenities closer to home.
Kind of grown used to it.
Tony Harris has seen plenty of changes in his 23 years living here. He says the new homes and businesses will give families more options close to home.
You don't have to drive across town to go to things, so that saves on gas, and it also brings in taxes for those that are traveling through.
One of the biggest questions from neighbors is traffic. City Administrator James Drinkard says the plan takes care of those worries.
Dustmore Drive itself will see several improvements. You will have curb and gutter where none exists today, so that's going to help with some stormwater improvements. You will have sidewalks.
The plan also keeps commercial traffic off residential streets, making sure new homes fit the neighborhood.
Also putting in a deceleration lane along Lake Joy Road and stormwater improvements on the site itself.
City leaders say there is no construction timeline and any development will still require additional approvals before work can begin. Reporting in Warner Robins, Jasmine Lee, 13 WMAZ News.
Now, work is already underway on the homes on the other side of town. Habitat for Humanity is using more than 100 $800,000 to build affordable houses. So far, 3 families have moved in, with 3 more homes under construction. Habitat leaders say the goal is to create affordable home ownership as starter homes become harder to find. And if you pay taxes in Houston County and want to know where your money is going, well, we can tell you. The County Commission approved a plan that outlines where they hope to spend every dollar for the next 5 years. Elizabeth Hunter was at that meeting and has more details.
Most people don't like taxes, but when they see that money being spent in a responsible way, it lessens the blow.
I always like it when the government tells us exactly what they're doing with the money. There's no questions about it then. So when you look at it, it's right here in black and white.
The Capital Improvement Plan outlines each project Houston County wants to spend money on from this year through 2030. Cameron Andrews says he is excited about the road projects planned, but also public safety improvements.
I think that the county has grown, and with that has come crime, and we still have to continue to tamp that down as best we can.
The budget categories include general government, public safety, roads, solid waste, the water system, and culture and recreation. Houston County Chairman Dan Perdue says they still have to approve individual county projects, but with this, they have an outline in place.
Overall, it's just an effort to be very transparent about what we envision as the next 5 years of capital expenditure.
Based on the plan, the county expects to spend about $270 million on projects that range from new equipment and technology to a warehouse and a performing arts center. The plan also outlines what years they expect these projects to start and end. Perdue says it's all transparency.
As we move into budget time, these are what we see as the big capital expenses that are coming up, and just be honest about that.
The plan outlines 10 sources for the money, including SPLOST, Federal American Rescue Plan funds, grants, and other government funds. In Houston County, Elizabeth Hunter, 13 WMAZ News.
Perdue says this is the first time that a plan like this is available for people to see. You can also let them contact you or look up more of that plan by following this story on 13WMAZ.com. And over in Peach County, fresh produce is everywhere, but getting it onto families' tables is another story. Feeding America reports that more than 4,400 people there are considered food insecure, meaning they don't have enough money or resources to buy healthy options. Together, those families fall about $3.5 million short each year of meeting their basic food needs. Carmen Brown shows us how a Fort Valley professor is working to close that gap.
This barn is pretty small. 10 feet wide, 20 feet long, but on weekends it feels bigger to the families who find it. Inside, you'll find a Fort Valley State University professor who fills it with fresh produce from local farms. And she says when you shop here, all you need is $10.
That I think that people should not be making life decisions in a grocery store. They should not be choosing between a full fridge and a full tank of gas. They should be able to buy what they need at a price they can afford.
In Peach County, there's an abundance of produce, but Hamida Sharif says the government shutdown revealed how deeply communities were struggling.
It grows all around us. We have orchards, we have farms, we have lots of people who garden. The problem is that we have an accessibility issue.
Tom and Katie Hoover drove from Warner Robins after seeing the micro grocery on Facebook.
So much to share.
I was encouraged to get 2 more handfuls of peppers for the same price I was already paying. I said, ooh, yes, this is a great place to go. If you want fresh veggies, you come right here.
Sharif partners with local farmers, growers, and distributors, stocking everything from tomatoes to potatoes. She even sells 3 golden apples for $1. At some stores, that's the price of 1.
And it's worth the drive from Warner Robins or Macon or wherever you are.
She says Fort Valley State University students can also become involved.
One of the biggest opportunities is for them to be able to come into a community, assess the needs of the community, and then create real actionable projects.
Hoping others see it as proof that small ideas can feed big change. Reporting in Peach County, Carmen Brown, 13 WMAZ News.
In just 5 weeks, Sharif says Sweet Valley Farms has served over 500 families. The stand opened in December. It's open on Saturdays and Sundays over on Camp John Hope Road in Fort Valley. And last weekend in Warner Robins, the Haven Hope House opened its doors to people looking for shelter from the frigid conditions. The warming shelter provided a safe place for about 40 people on Saturday night. The facility offers beds, hot meals, showers, and laundry services. Brian Wise is a supervisor for the Haven Hope House. He says the shelter operates through a partnership between the city and the Assembly Church.
When you go out there and see how they're living, there's no way they could survive in this weather and all. And that's what we got this place for. We started off as a warming shelter. In a few months, hopefully we'll be a daytime shelter, and then we'll go to a 9-day program.
Now, the shelter will remain open anytime temperatures drop below 32 degrees. Wise says the latest count shows around 200 people experiencing homelessness in Houston County. The shelter also partners with No Limit Baptist Church for additional overflow capacity. Also this week, we're hearing from 2 Warner Robins firefighters who are in the statewide spotlight after taking home Georgia's top fire service honors. Jasmine Lee shows us the dedication, sacrifice, and service that earned them Rookie Firefighter of the Year and Firefighter of the Year.
Boots, gloves, helmets, every piece ready. Every shift is a test, every drill builds skill, and in Warner Robins, preparation meets action, shift by shift.
It's a great honor to accept this award.
I felt extremely blessed because I feel like it's kind of a legacy thing.
It's this combination of training, teamwork, and daily dedication that led Lee White and Joshua Theus to receive state-level honors. Lee White over a decade of service, leadership, and guidance. Joshua Theus, a rookie, carries on a family legacy with every moment on a job.
My uncle, he was a lieutenant with the Warner Robins Fire Department, and he retired after 30 years.
Following in his uncle's footsteps, Joshua learned quickly what it takes to step up, to train, to lead, and to support his team. Each certification, each training scenario builds him into a firefighter his peers can rely on.
I was a big asset to my squad, and because I knew a lot of the disciplines, and they saw that, and so they made me the squad boss. Yeah, it was in training, but it was in scenarios that we were doing, and they were looking to me for advice.
And it's that same dedication and focus that Lee White brings to the department day after day, from rescues in tight spaces to training new firefighters. His peers say his calmness, experience, and leadership set the standard.
In the middle of the year, we had a confined space rescue at a big business nearby. You train on this stuff, but until you get in the real life experience, you don't really understand what you're going to do until you get there. And thankfully, we were able to save the guy in approximately 15 minutes on being on scene.
Together, their stories show that whether it's a legacy or a decade of service, excellence in the field is built on teamwork. Reporting in Warner Robins, Jasmine Lee, 13 WMAZ News.
Officials say the recognition highlights the department's continued commitment to serving the Warner Robins community. And get this, a Warner Robins lucky winner just scored big. $2 million. The jackpot came from a Georgia scratch-off at the Hop-In on Highway 96 in Kathleen. The winner claimed the prize Tuesday. Might have to take a visit to that store myself to see if there's any luck that's left. Alrighty, and before we let you go, let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening across the Robins region. As we welcome in a new month, Warner Robins Recreation Parks and Cultural Services is inviting you to a father-daughter dance. It's happening February the 7th from 6 to 8 at the Wellston Center. Ages 4 and up are welcome. Prepare to eat, dance, and enjoy some live music. Also, you can get an inside look at how the city of Perry operates through Perry University's class of 2026. This free hands-on program connects you with city leaders, public safety teams, and community developers to see local government in action. Space is limited and applications close February the 12th. Go ahead and apply at that website that you're seeing right there on your screen. And if you still need Valentine's Day plans, how about getting dressed up for Rigby's Sweetheart Dance? It's not just for date nights. Make it a girls' night or a group outing. Find them at the Best Western Plus. Doors open at 6 p.m. Dinner runs from 7 to 8:30. Tickets do include dinner, dancing, a free Sweetheart drink at Gracie's as well. Book online at bestwestern.com. And if you need someone to watch your kids while you enjoy an early Valentine's Day night, well, the city of Warner Robins has you covered. They're hosting a parents' night out at the North Houston Sports Complex. Go ahead and drop off your kids ages 4 to 12. You can drop them off anytime between 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It'll cost $25 for kids that live in the city, $30 for kids that live in the county. Go ahead and register on the City of Warner Robins website or in person at the North Houston Sports Complex. Plus, you can celebrate Mardi Gras in Perry. The city's holding a Bourbon Street Bash. Enjoy the sounds of New Orleans jazz, blues, and brass from a live band. Go ahead and wear your Mardi Gras best, costumes, masks, and beads. It's happening in downtown Perry. Mark your calendars for February the 13th at 6 p.m. Alrighty, that's a wrap on what's happening throughout the Robbins region. If you have a Houston County story you want to share with us, email us at news@13wmaz.com and make sure you keep coming back each and every Friday to get all the Houston County news and the stories that matter to you. Thanks for joining us.